Stalking mule deer bucks with a bow is definitely a challenge. You have just shared a few of the frustrations of trying to stalk within bow range of a wily buck. Mike Lipinski is a well-known outdoor writer whose articles and books have been enjoyed by many sportsmen. He is an experienced hunter, having pursued most species of North American big game. He will also be the first to tell you that taking a mule deer buck with a bow in open country is no cinch, but it can be done. In this video, you will see how, as you follow Mike to Utah, Colorado, and Montana, and enjoy the highlights of his hunts. Remember, we said highlights. A stalk on this video may last only 5 minutes, where in reality it perhaps lasted for 2 hours or more. Also, for every encounter you see, there were several more that were unsuccessful. Prior to starting the hunt, some explanation is needed. First, why is stalking open country bucks one of the supreme challenges of archery hunting? Also, why is it one of the most exciting hunts you may ever experience? Contrary to popular belief, mule deer have senses that are equal, or in some cases superior, to white-tailed deer and elk. Its sense of smell and hearing is extremely acute, and its eyesight isn't far behind. Picture this scenario. You spot a buck, bedded, and fortunately it's bedded alone, so you have only one set of eyes to avoid. The deer is laying with the wind in its face, so you can approach from behind. You remembered the buck's location after circling for a while, just to get into position with sufficient cover for concealment. The ground is relatively damp, hoping to quiet your approach. Finally, after a 2-hour stalk, you are within 20 yards, and while remaining undetected, you must release an arrow for a fatal shot. Now, all that's necessary is to steady your nerves so you quit shaking and hope that the buck doesn't hear your heart hammering in your chest. That accomplished, you know success is within your grasp, right? Wrong. An errant puff of wind hits the back of your neck and the buck is up and running in a split second. Compare that hunt to sitting in a tree stand waiting for a whitetail buck to walk by. Sure, it's exciting after you spot the buck, but compare that long wait you've endured to the stalk you have just witnessed. Still not convinced that open country mule deer hunting is one of the supreme challenges for a bow hunter? Then listen to a few other experts who share our opinion. Bill Krenz is an outdoor writer and vice president of Hoyt USA.
Mule deer and open country. The two really go together. In fact, in my mind, I think that it's the open country that makes mule deer so special, or at least it's one of those things. You can see what's happening. You can see it a long ways away. Very often you can see a deer, particularly a big buck, coming a lot closer to you, particularly in country like this that is open, or country that's even more open than this stuff is. If you're used to hunting whitetails and black bears, even elk, you're used to hunting thick cover, and you can't see those sorts of things. Things happen right in front of you. But with mule deer, you see it a long ways away. And then hopefully, with bow, you also get to see it closer as either you move closer to the animal or the animal moves closer to you. But it is the open country, the wide open west, that is one of the things that makes mule deer so very special.
Here's Dwight Shue's thoughts on mule deer.
Hi, I'm Dwight Shue, Bows and Arrows editor for Sports and Field magazine. I've been stalking deer for about 20 years now, and the one quality that I found that sets stalking apart from other types of hunting is the intensity of the experience. Let's say you're in a tree stand for 5 hours. You may not see a deer during most of that period of time, then the animal will appear, and you may only see it for 30 seconds before you shoot. In contrast, when you're stalking an animal for 5 hours, you know he's there the whole time, and that makes that whole experience a very intense and challenging experience. That's the thing that sets stalking apart to me. That's the thing I really like about it.
Ralph Cianciarulo, who lives in the East, shares his Western mule deer philosophy.
You know, coming from the Midwest, we're so used to getting up early in the morning, maybe driving a little bit, walking about 100 yards or so, climbing up that tree, getting in that tree stand, and waiting for that whitetail buck to come on down the trail. But mule deer hunting, that's a whole different story. And when you talk about mental and physically demanding sport, you're talking about bow hunting for mule deer. Whitetails, back home in the Midwest, Illinois, Wisconsin, all those great states, mentally demanding by trying to figure them out, try to pattern them, try to learn their habits. But when you come out west, you can use some of those tactics for mule deer, but not only do you maybe select their patterns or figure out their patterns, you also have to get to where those mule deer. So more than anything, bow hunting for mule deer, physically and mentally demanding.
To learn more about this sport, sit back and get ready to witness the challenge of stalking open country mule deer. Keep an open mind and you will learn from the experiences shown. Soon, you will see how addicting and exciting this challenging sport can be. Mike's first hunt takes place in southern Utah in an area managed for trophy mule deer bucks. Mike joins outfitter Rich Larocco, who guides both bow and rifle hunters. They spend the day before the season glassing for bucks. Like most experienced mule deer bow hunters, Mike prefers the spot and stalk hunting method to get close to muleys. Once a buck is located, Mike circles to the downwind side and stalks in close. This is a very challenging, intense, and exciting hunting method.
This one big one we see, it's all over, it's all right. Yeah, he was kind of red.
You know what makes an area like this good is that people don't shoot those little bucks. There aren't any point restrictions, but when you limit the number of hunters, they tend to hold out for mature bucks, and they'll either kill one or not shoot one at all. Those little bucks get older, get bigger.
Get up on top.
In keeping with the big buck management of this particular area, Mike decides to take only a record book animal on this hunt.
They'd be up to see you sooner or later with that many eyes. 15 bucks, that's 30 eyes.
The first morning of the season, Mike moves along a high ridge, stopping often to glass for bucks. He spots a large herd of bucks in a small draw and watches them.
Boy, there's a couple of bucks there. They're about 30 inches wide. Even after a while, you look at the small ones, but they're 24 inches wide. Yeah, that's a nice 4-point, that one. Looking right at us. He'll go record buck. All three of those gray ones will go record buck for sure. That one will go, boy, he is a dandy. I think I'm just going to wait these deer out. If I get moving now, they're liable not to go into that aspen thicket. They'll have to go somewhere else, and I'm going to be still hunting down through there, stalking for 2 hours to get down there, and they're not going to be there. So I think I'll just wait them out. It's going to take an hour and a half for me to get around there anyway. There ain't no rush. They're going to bed down there pretty soon. Oh, this is great. This is ideal. This is a good situation. Now, I might screw up on the stock, but still, we're going to have a close encounter of some kind.
After the buck's bed, Mike makes his move. A mule deer's senses of smell and hearing are very acute, and they'll soon pick up Mike's steps in the gravelly soil. So before he gets within hearing range of the bucks, he stops to remove his shoes and pulls on heavy wool socks for the final 100 yards.
almost had him. Wow. Look at that bunch of high country bucks. 14. Boy, we had a perfect start. Everything was right. Starting back about 50 yards. The wind is crossing like this. This last time right here, we're only 30 yards from the bucks. Boy, that went well. Right now, it's good. As soon as I felt it, I said, oh, no. It shouldn't be like that. The thermal should push the air uphill in the afternoon because of the sun. The problem is we're right on the very top of the divide. This is a saddle, so the wind don't know where it wants to. If we were further on down the side hill, it would be coming up by noon. It's about noon right now. But with this, it's the very top of the ridge. The wind doesn't know where it wants to go. Boy, what a bunch of bucks in that bunch.
Throughout his hunt, Mike roamed and glassed the high ridges and still hunted the timbered basins and aspen groves. He often encountered and passed over bucks that normally would be considered trophy sized in other areas.
They stocked up on them in this slogged over area. For some reason, they really like to get in here where all the brush gets knocked down. He's about 20, 21 inches. He's 3 on one side, looked like 4 on the other. I don't know, maybe it was just a 3-point. I come here after a 25-inch buck, make both young. If I gotta go home without one, that's okay. That was fun getting close. I got 45 yards anyway. Go look for another big one.
A new day holds promise for more big buck encounters.
Oh man, look at that herd of bucks. I just knew they'd be over on that other ridge. I saw them the day before. Boy, it looks like there's 2, 4, 6. Looks like there's a dozen of them over there. Look at the size of those bucks. That one in the bottom's a non-typical. Looks like he's got about 9 on one side. Oh man. Every one is going to make the record book.
Mike glasses the bucks for 2 hours until they bed.
I just got to sit tight. That sun's hitting those bucks there. They got to be getting warm. They don't like that. They got to be heading for cover here pretty soon. I just got to sit tight and wait. This is a waiting game. If they go out of sight and bed down, I'm at a real disadvantage here. Oh, I can't wait. Looks like they're kind of starting to spread out a little bit to bed down in the brush.
Because of the wind, Mike had to circle the ridge they were on and approach the bucks from above.
Hold it. There's a buck. I can see one of them moving. Oh, I must be right in on all of them. What is this? Oh, there's a big 3-point right in front of me. I'm gonna try and hold off on him. He's about 30, but boy, that big buck is better right below me here someplace. Just, boy, if he sees me, that's gonna mess everything up. Just nice and easy. I saw that big buck bed right in front of me here somewhere. Boy, if I could only spot him, I'd have a better chance, but if he catches me moving, gotta be right near someplace. There, I think there he is. Okay, I just gotta get a good shot at him. Just, maybe he'll come out to the right side of this bush here. Gotta get ready. There he is. He's right behind the bush. He's only like 10 yards away. Easy now. Oh no, wind. Oh no. Well, give it a try. like to have another encounter with that big 4-point. I come that close. If that wasn't so brushy, I could have had 12 yards I got within him. Boy, I'm going to keep him on scout and see if they maybe went down there a little further and I could find him. I want to see him again real close.
Mike did get to see his buck close again. Unknown to Mike, his friend Dwight Shue was hunting the same area and harvested the buck that afternoon.
Well, Dwight, I said I want to get closer to this buck, but this is not the way I had planned it. I want to get broadside. Here I come into camp and look at.
Well, Mike, I figured this is about the only chance you had of getting this close to this buck, so I just tried to do you a favor by shooting him.
Oh, way to go. Boy, he is a dandy. I had him like 12 yards away behind a bush, and I was going to shoot at a 3-point, and he just blew up, got a crosswind or something, and I saw him run away. I said, hey, I can get in on that buck again. Yeah, I saw him go down the canyon. I figured, he's okay.
Well, I just had kind of a feeling he might be down in there, so I went down and it was just glass and shady spots looking for possibly seeing a bedded deer there, and I could see his antlers sticking up out of the grass, and it wasn't real hard to see these antlers in the grass right there. So anyway, I backed off and circled around and got the wind on him, came in, and he stood up, and the 3-point was there too, the same 2 bucks apparently. And he walked out and stood broadside at 40 yards, and I fortunately put the arrow in the right place.
Oh, man, what a tremendous.
Well, there's your opportunity. Is that close enough for you?
Yeah. What do you think this thing will score?
Well, I rough measured him. I'm not a real accurate measurer, but I'd say about 180.
That kind of put him up in the upper half of the...
Yeah, he would be fairly high in Pope and Young, and I'll probably enter him in the velvet category. They do have a category now where you can enter velvet deer because so many of the mule deer are taken in velvet, so I'll probably go ahead and have him officially measured and enter him.
What a beautiful animal. Well, I'm going to go out tomorrow and see if I could find one at least approaching this. I don't know if there's any more left in the country after you're done. But...
Well, I think there's a few more around here, but just remember you got to walk quiet when you get in close.
Walk quiet when you get in close. I'll try and remember that. Keep the wind in my face instead of my back.
That helps too.
Should remember that.
Those are my secrets for successful hunting.
Good. Well, congratulations. You did fantastic.
Thank you.
After a few days and several more encounters, Mike is on the last day of his hunt. He spots some deer on a distant side hill and decides to move in for a closer look.
He's a pretty nice deer. He's a nice little 4-point. I'd say about 22 inches. But you just can't, unless they're 6 inches around, you just won't make the record buck. I think he's about 2.5 years old, and I gotta get something about 24, 25 to make the record buck. And that's probably 125 points, so keep looking.
Mike spent his last evening enjoying some of the pristine scenery and reflecting on the tremendous hunts he enjoyed at this very special trophy area. Mike stopped in Colorado for a few days and sampled the hunting there. In Colorado, the muleys were usually found in or around the oak brush. One problem Mike encountered is that when the big bucks bed down in oak brush, they are very difficult to find. So Mike found the best way to hunt these bucks was to still hunt throughout the area where the buck was last seen feeding.
There's one. Let's see. Is he good enough? 1, 2, 3, 4. Just about. Boy, this is the first morning. I hate that. He's only 20 yards away. He's heard me a little bit suspicious, but I could take him good. It's a perfect shot, boy. First morning, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna pass on him. He's a beautiful buck, a definite trophy. I don't know. I think I'll just pass on him. See if there's anything else around here.
Finally, an opportunity for a spot and stalk hunt occurs. Mike watches as the trophy buck feeds and beds down.
Perfect. There's a lot of bad things that can happen, but we're gonna give it a shot. This is what Muley hunting's all about. First time I saw him, he was 3/4 of a mile away. Now, I got a chance to get 10, 12, 15 yards away from my cat arm and wait. Start circling right now. Take my time. I got wool socks on to cushion my feet so I don't make noise on the gravel.
Mike's hopes are high. His plan will be to circle the buck downwind and reach this rock outcrop. Right above the buck. What a perfect situation.
Yards away. It's been right that flat. I knew something was wrong 5 yards back. I should see his velvet antlers. You see the velvet antlers? He just crouch like this. When you're ready. Yeah, see? He's got up from his mid-morning nap as I was moving. I could see that. But then he went down again. Mustn't have liked it or something. Last time I saw him, he was down again.
Later, Mike spots a buck feeding away from him. The wind is in his favor, and lots of large boulders conceal his advance. Mike is about to give up the stalk because the buck is moving away too fast, but good fortune occurs. The buck suddenly turns back and comes Mike's way. Note the position where Mike is standing before he moves behind this boulder.
Oh, I can't believe how lucky this is. He turned coming right back on the trail, right at me. I got a nice big rock here. Let me see. He was coming. I gotta peek over here and take a look. Oh, there he is. I see his antlers. It's kind of hung up there. Oh, here he comes. Okay, here he comes. Oh, this is perfect. He's coming right on the trail. Oh, I got him, I think. I got him this time. Here he comes. I have to be quiet. The wind is right. Oh, I got him. Steady. Ready. He's gonna come out behind that rock anytime. Come on. Where the heck is he? He must be right behind the rock on the other side of me here. out, man. What the heck? Maybe he's back. Where the heck is he? Oh, no. Oh, darn, there he is. What happened? Oh, I had that buck killed already. I don't understand this. He couldn't have winded me. The wind was coming right quartering down into my face. Oh, I don't know whether I should chance a shot. There's brushing maybe 25 yards. Oh, I thought I had him. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Yeah. Oh, there he goes. Darn. Oh, there. Throw some rocks at me. He wants to run. He can really run.
That encounter ended Mike's short Colorado hunt, but what a way to end it.
As I look back on that hunt, anytime you get to the point where you say, I got him, animals sure can prove you wrong. I was standing right on that trail where that buck was coming. I had put my bow down. It was hot and I was sweating. And the reason that buck spooked, I could see it perfectly now when I looked at the video later, is he sniffed right where I was standing and spooked. It wasn't the wind or anything. And it was a lesson I learned. You know, never back up and let the animal come by where you're standing. Go forward and do it. And I learned a valuable lesson.
Hundreds of thousands of acres.
Later in the season, Mike joins outfitter Jim Wilkins of Otter Creek Outfitters in eastern Montana to continue the Supreme Challenge.
Well, I like mule deer. I mean, I want to be a mule deer all day, which we have been. Nice bucks, but it's smart that you're just taking the biggest ones. Boy, there's always a crop of big 4 points left.
Good genes, we don't ever, we don't touch the other ones. They gotta be 5 or 6 4 we really want.
Oh, these are great.
Otter Creek Outfitters is located near the Powder River Breaks. Jim leases several huge ranches that border national forest. This is a rugged land of open hills dotted with juniper and pine. This type of terrain works very well for spot and stalk hunting. When spot and stalk hunting, the early morning hours are spent glassing for feeding bucks, then following them to their beds. It didn't take Jim and Mike long to find these bucks. This buck finally beds under a juniper tree.
How big is he, Jim?
Well, he's not bad. I can't count points. He is laying with his body towards our right.
Yeah, I can see that.
Looks like he's fair heavy, more of the high type than the real wide type.
Yeah, it's really sitting high up there above his ears.
Yeah, it looks a lot better through here now than it did through my glasses.
Mm-hmm.
The most difficult part of spot and stalk hunting is finding the bedded buck once you are over
Yeah,
there.
that come right over.
So a rough sketch of the area, noting landmarks close to the bedded buck, is a good idea.
Okay, now, from prior experience, I know that it looks obvious here. When you get over there, it's a jungle. You don't know what's going on. So I made a little map. Here's that butte right here. It just drops off. You can see the clay and rock. He's about 20 yards to the left of it and down below. There's a little aisle here. And there's a little aisle here, and there's a big pine tree.
Beginning of this video, did I say that successfully bow hunting open country mule deer was easy? I said it's not difficult. I didn't say it was easy now.
Mike, I think you said it was easy.
Boy, what could get into a man to say that was easy? Huh.
After Jim got Mike acquainted with his area, he also takes up the bow.
Here we are again. And for the hunt, I think if you want to take out and work out across here, and then slide back behind this stuff and come into it where you can see into it, I'll take this section over here and I'll work these little buttes out.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Hey,
Good luck, Bart.
see you later, bud.
Adios.
Jim spots a buck at midday and plans a stalk. The buck didn't appear too spooked, so Jim follows the buck and sees it bed again. Don't blame me, Jim. I didn't make you miss. On another day, Jim and Mike spot a herd of bucks feeding and watch them go to bed.
There's 4 good bucks, and that one is exceptionally heavy. It just very good, yeah. Just the guy's got to try him.
There's 2 huge bucks. Easily make Pope and Young, maybe even make Blue and Crockett. I mean, they're huge bucks. And somehow I've got to get 20 yards away. They're a mile away. There's very little cover between me and him. The wind is marginal. And that's the challenge and excitement of mule deer hunting. It's something I live for. I just can't wait to get in there and try to get 20 yards away from them. This is going to be really, really something.
Mike and cameraman Gary Holmes move to about 50 yards of the bedded bucks, but are caught in the open when one of the bucks stands up. Mike and Gary freeze and are watching the deer, who mistake them for juniper trees. But unknown to Mike, a huge buck is ambling down the ridge to his left. Hey, Mike, look left, look left. He's only 30 yards away. Look left.
Oh, no. Oh, I never even saw that big buck coming to the left. I was so intent on that bunch of bucks to the right by the bush. Oh, I blew a chance at him. He is huge. Oh, is he heavy? That is a huge... He must be 350 pounds. He's a huge... Oh, look at that one. Boy, they're all nice bucks. There's only two small... Oh, boy. Those two bucks are keepers. Boy, they're 50 yards away, though. That's a long shot, and the wind is blowing across. I just don't... If I get a good chance, I'll take it. If the wind dies... Look at this. He's coming. Maybe he's going to come in. Wow. Boy, he's about 45 now. He's looking right at me. Come on. Come on. Gary, don't move. They're looking right at us. Boy, this is... Well, I want to try one of those big bucks. I may not have a chance for this ever again.
Caught in the open, Mike and Gary are forced to stand like statues, with muscles cramped and screaming, and wait for any opportunity.
Easy. Easy. Look at the hand. Oh, boy. Look at those bucks. Look at the horns on that big one. Oh, my arms are starting to cramp up. Gary, you doing okay? Are you? Good. I don't know if we can shoot here, Gary. Boy, they must think we're bushes or something. They're not running away. Ooh, look at that. Some of them are worried. Don't move, Gary. Boy, look at the horns sticking up in that huge buck. The one on the far right is pretty nice too. He's about 24, 26. Man. Look there. Look, he's feeding. They're really not scared. I don't think they're gonna spook. I still think we got a chance here. Gary. Boy, don't take a chance, Gary. Every time one of them puts his head down, another one's looking. They don't seem to be too worried, though. Here he comes again. Get ready, Gary. If that wind dies down, you'll see me bring the bow up. I'm going to shoot. Oops. Easy. Don't move. Don't move. He's looking right at us. Stay behind me. Oh, this doesn't look good. They're going to spook. Oh, this might be the end of it.
Some of the bucks get nervous and trot off, but the two biggest bucks stay put, so there's still hope.
Boy, those other bucks, the two big bucks, never left. Boy, we might have a chance. If they both bed down, we could still move in on them. All right. Easy. You got a chance. Oh, look at that.
Finally, the wind direction changes for the worse.
Oh, no. I didn't make any mistakes. Well, I'll blame it on the cameraman. Remember what I said about the challenge of open country mule deer hunting? I didn't get either one of those bucks. You're talking about 180-point bucks. 50 yards, just too far for me to shoot. What a fantastic experience. You just couldn't pay me enough to equal that. was so much fun. My heart, hey, that's what all this open country mule deer hunting is about.
This spot and stalk muley hunting can get a bit intense, so Jim and Mike decide to take a break and try something they think is less challenging and easier. Eastern Montana has lots of Merriam turkeys, and it didn't take our turkey hunters long to locate a flock. Gee guys, as well as you've done on these mule deer, it should be easy to knock down a few of these dumb
The
turkeys.
great turkey hunter.
That's why I got this on. You can't tell who it is.
Look at them all. Masters of their trade.
I got mine.
Where'd you get mine?
I got a big one.
Where'd you big one?
He's over there
Going in your knee?
getting a drag sling to bring him out.
Another day brings more mule deer opportunities.
Well, let's judge that one. Catch and release deer hunting.
Spotting more big bucks on the next ridge, Jim pursues. As Jim topped the ridge, a big buck was up and looking before he could get an arrow knocked. On the back side of this knob, Jim spots two bedded bucks and moves in. Once you're close to a bedded buck, one way to get him to stand is to throw a small rock on the far side. The buck usually stands and looks at the rock and noise, offering a perfect chest shot. And that's Jim's plan on these bucks.
What's rock?
This sequence illustrates how a seemingly impossible situation can still provide an opportunity by adapting to the terrain. Here, Jim and Mike spot several deer, including two big bucks, but they bed in a bottom surrounded by sagebrush no taller than 2 feet. The deer are bedded here in the sagebrush, and Mike here will eventually crawl to get to this bush here. It takes Mike more than an hour to belly crawl forward behind a small bush just 40 yards away. Even though one buck gets up and leaves, Mike stays put as the deer still don't see him. Mike wants a closer shot and belly crawls forward, even though he's in the wide open and no bush is in sight. At 30 yards, he begins to rise up for a shot. After an intense 2-hour ordeal, a sharp-eyed doe snorted as Mike's feelings become apparent. That's why Mike prefers a stalking of a single bedded deer. More deer mean more eyes. Dawn on the last day, Mike reminds himself that the last day is just as good as the first. Later, Mike spots 3 bucks and stalks forward. The bucks are wary, and Mike is pinned down, so he decides to try a different tactic, doe calling. Bucks are curious animals and will sometimes come to investigate the bleat of a doe.
There's a buck. Yeah, there's he's a pretty nice buck. Looks like a high 3. Get behind this bush. Yeah, he's about 80 yards away. I don't have any chance right now. It's pretty hot now. He's gonna be bedding down here pretty quick. He's gonna go over that saddle. He's gotta be. Look at him. He's sluggish. Yeah, well, he's a nice deer. Just have to wait him out. Stock in on him if I can find out where he beds down. Come on, last chance. I gotta get him down somehow. Just wait him out here. Maybe he'll bed down right in them bushes there. Looks like he's just looking for a bitten spot. Maybe he'll scratch us a spot right there. Boy, That'd be tough to get in on him right in that spot. Well, there he goes. Now he's gonna go over that saddle. I'm sure he's down here somewhere. He's gotta be down. He come over the saddle and there's really nothing here. I should be seeing him if he's still moving. He's gotta be in here. Must be just in this brush here somewhere. Oh, I see him. There he is, right in that little clump of sagebrush. Bedded right down there. He ain't too far away. Oops. Boy, he's only 30 yards away. Looks like he's getting up. Boy, this is my chance. This is my chance. He's not spooked though, because he doesn't smell me. Okay, pick a spot. Praise the Lord. Boy, what a beautiful animal. Nice 3-point. Hit him a little bit far back, just a little bit far back. I really slowed him down. And I saw him in a little thicket, and all I could see is the top of his back. So I put one right in there, and that did him down. He just went a little ways and fell down then too. Just an insurance shot, but he was ready to fall over. You know, we've gone after some really nice bucks this week. Huge bucks. You know, any bow hunting kill is a trophy, and this is a real trophy animal to me. About a 19-20 inch 3-point, it's just a dandy, I'm just really so pleased with this. Towards the end of my hunt, and I've had some fantastic experiences. Jim.
All right. Oh, this one.
You were right about that saddle. Those deer really come through.
Yeah, and I was back up on the rim, and I got to watch everything. I was trying to spot some more. I was pumped.
Last day kill.
That's the pressure on.
Jim enjoyed open country mule deer hunting so much that he invited Mike back next year when hopefully both might connect on a buck.
I have never seen a place like this for hunting. It goes to show you, when you manage for trophy mule deer, you can get them.
It just takes patience. It takes years to grow. It's going to be a wonderful year.
Yeah. Lots of green.
We've had, like 13 inches of rain in June and July.
Oh.
We've got super horn growth. And it's just, these guys are getting some age on them now.
Boy, they're all over. This is about the sixth bunch.
Yeah, look at that. Look, there's... Isn't that wonderful to see?
Oh, nice high horns on them.
We're pretty happy with the way things are working out.
This is going to be a good hunt, isn't it?
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
With bucks like these around, Mike and Jim have high hopes as they split up to hunt. It didn't take Jim long to find a bedded buck. Oops, doesn't look like it's going to be any easier than last year. Every mule deer hunter dreams of a chance at a 30-inch buck, and Jim's blood pressure skyrockets when he spots this huge buck bedded in sagebrush.
Just that much. I could have just got drawn and too close. Oh boy, it's a pounder.
Mike spends the morning roaming the hills and glassing for bucks. He spots 2 bucks bedded, but the wind is wrong and he has to circle them.
Hold it, hold it. Oh boy, I got some deer in front of me. They're big bodies. Yeah, I see them moving through the trees there. I don't think these are big deer. The bodies aren't that big and blocky. Like, well, there it is. There, yeah, they're just big 2 points. Big yearlings. My problem is I can't get around them. I have to wait till they move off. Okay, there they go. Oh, look at that one across the draw. That is a big buck. He's far enough I can get right by him. Hope those deer are still there. They gotta be right in here somewhere. Must be over the ridge. I think they're right up. Oh, there's antlers. There's antlers. There they are. There they are. Boy, this wind is swirling. I'm gonna have to stalk right into their face. They can see me move. Oh, I wonder if this is over with. Looking right at me. Wind is crosswind though. Look at that. They're looking right at me. Just turned away. I can get in on these bucks. Just gotta go slow. Slow. Oh, the wind. Ah, no, man. Wind. Oh, shot high. Oh well.
On the lighter side, Jim got this interesting idea that if he put on deer ears, the deer might think he's one of them. So Jim tests it on this small buck. But as you can see, it seemed to have the opposite effect.
I got close enough first time for a shot.
The next day, Jim carefully glassed from a high ridge until he spotted these feeding bucks. The following sequence occurs as Jim carefully follows behind them as they move toward a bedding area. Finally, the two bucks won a huge 30-inch trophy, bed in this washout. Jim will stalk the bucks from the left side.
Oh, all right. Whew. Damn. I worked for this one. It's been a long hunt. Had to pass that 30-incher because I couldn't get a shot at him. I'll dream about him and it gives me something to shoot for next year, but boy, this is a dandy. 5 on one side and 4 on the other. Eye guards. I'm plumb proud of this. It took some work.
The end of the day brought Jim's hunt to a very satisfying conclusion. Mike was encouraged by Jim's success and looked forward to his hunt the next morning.
Oh, that's a nice buck. That's a nice buck. I see there's several others over there. way down that draw. What I gotta do is get around, get on that one ridge. Okay, there goes one there. I gotta get in on these bucks. Put on some, quiet my feet a little bit here, these bear's feet. Boy, they make a difference. Okay. There they are. Oh. I got two of the bucks fighting, the others are all to the left. I just gotta get over and peek over the ridge what's below me here. I can't see below me. They could be right below me here. I could have a shot right here. Boy, he's a keeper there. Boy, they're just a little ahead of me. The wind is crossways too. Boy, I gotta freeze and then back out of here, get around. There's a whole bunch of ridges up ahead. If I could just get ahead of them a little bit, but they move so doggone fast, I gotta circle. Hey, he's backing off now. Just a little bit closer, just a little bit closer. Okay, I gotta peek over this. They're ahead of me again. I gotta really get going. There they are. Boy, there's $9. $9. Good blood, good and red. No spot. Nice big smear. Oh boy, lots of bright red blood. Good lone hit. I'm getting close. Maybe he's down. I better get ready in case he's not dead. Oh. Praise the Lord. Big 3-point. Exit. Wow. Finally. Beautiful big 3-point. But the best thing about this is a humane kill. 200 yards. I rammed him right through both lungs. Come out the other side. 30-yard shot. Just perfect. A little quartering away. I tell you, it looked in this open country like it was impossible for me to get on him, but you learn how to hunt open country bucks and you can do it. It's a heck of a challenge. There's no challenge in the outdoor world like trying to get 30 yards from a mule deer buck in open country. This really is the supreme challenge of bow hunting.
Now you know why Mike and other hunters like him are thrilled by the anticipation of stalking open country mule deer. They have experienced and are aware of the elements that make this sport one of archery hunting's greatest challenges. The feeling of being alone on a ridge at first light and glassing the buck of a lifetime. Of planning that perfect stalk and then relishing the excitement of executing the approach while picturing the buck lying unaware in its bed. Of feeling the adrenaline flow when that huge rack is spotted projecting above the grass. Perhaps the stalk was successful, perhaps not. No matter. The memories of each stalk will remain embedded in your mind until you have another opportunity to experience the supreme challenge, open country mule deer hunting.